Hey guys, real quick. As I've mentioned, I'm currently working on 2 or 3 new videos and came across this confession by Kessinger today and wanted to share it. So we all know that Kessinger searched and no doubt researched the Watts family or knew them prior to Chris and Shanann getting married. That is a theory of mine. She spent the majority of her interviews expressing just how quote-unquote different from Shanann that she was. Yet, in this interview, she contradicts herself because she too mentions the very same furniture store that I personally called in Colorado and was told operates as a rent-to-own furniture store, and it is a discount store. However seemingly small this may be to you, consider it when we are discussing money as a motive, and yet the victim shopped at the same discount store as the mistress. The picture Kessinger tries to paint is that Shanann spends all this money lavishly, and yet we find that Shanann and Watts actually went to the same store. The idea that Kessinger tries so hard to point the finger at Shanann for being a big spender and Kessinger the thrifter just doesn't add up. Literally. Just what point exactly was she trying to get across to prove that she was any better, or in her own words, different than Shanann?
Like, my house, I have a really beautiful house. Like, it's set up, like, really nice. But everything I have is, like, from Craigslist or Goodwill. Like, I have pieced it together, and it's all, or, like, marked down stuff. And I have pieced it together in a way, like, it's pretty, huh? It's a pretty house, but you would never guess that, like, everything I got is, like, super discount. And one day we were sitting on my couch, and we were just, like, bullshitting about some stuff, and I was telling him, like, oh, yeah, you know, like, I got this marked down in American Furniture because, like, the corner was dented, and, like, I got this one off a guy on Craigslist, and I put it all, and I was, like, telling him, I was, like, I put it all together, and I was, like, to me, it was, like, material things don't make a home. I was, like, it's the energy and the love that you bring to the home. I was, like, it's not about what it looks like. I was, like, it's about what you, like, bring to it, like, mentally. And he, like, collapsed in my lap and gave me, like, the biggest, most genuine hug I think that man has ever given me. And he just laid there, and he was just like, you are so different. And I didn't even say anything. I just, like, put my fingers in his hair and just let him chill there. And I assumed that it had to do with the finances. But it didn't, like, stress me out. It was just, like, this relief sigh where he just, like, dropped into my arms. And I didn't, like, really think too much of that event, except for that I was, like, this was, like, it was, like, a really genuine hug, like, collapsed into my lap, like, just so relieved. And I didn't really think much of it until, like, I started reading about, like, their bankruptcy and all this other shit, and I was like, oh.
For those of you new to this case or new to the interviews/discovery, reviews take note that on its own it may not mean much, but as discussed in part 2 of the Hidden Motive series, when we are discussing stalking in addition to other slip-ups from Kessinger, it paints an entirely different picture. Don't believe me? Go check out part 4 as well in the Hidden Motives series, because I went through the body cam footage and priced the items found within the home, including the North Carolina home, and their house looked nice and was decorated, but was it really that expensive as Kessinger lets on? You decide.